It's his fetish for women's shoes and the obsession with collecting trophies that made him continue his mission by all means necessary. There's a whole mafia operation behind your hit, ensuring they cover their tracks by all means necessary. Her death was ruled an accident. In this story, we have a victim, no perp, and a department that wanted to close this case by all means necessary. The event remains one of the worst incidents of racial violence in the US history that no one talks about. Number of deaths have been covered up for a century by all means necessary. What were their motives? Hi, you look lost, desperately looking for your next true crime comedy mix. And I don't know how you landed here, but I'm glad you did. I'm your solo host, Maya. Although sometimes my ego does occupy the room, and it does sound like I'm bouncing off weird comments of other presence in the room. Maybe it's ghosts, or maybe it's just always been me talking to myself. In the stories I tell, there's always somebody that has done a bad deed, and you join me every Monday to sit down and do our best armchair detective work to get to the bottom of the case. We start with the action and then go backwards, covering the crimes and covering the background of the case, including the victim and the perpetrator, in order to really get into their brain and to get to the bottom of the whydunnit. The narration is so eloquent, and I definitely never go off tangent, except maybe this time.
I had this thing when I was, heavily involved with on Tinder. I had a person called DNA in the phone that is do not answer. I think I had something called Mr. Screwface, which was just like, what was that about? I think that person just had the screwable face and not the rest of them.
Or maybe just this one more time, because I just stepped away from the crimes that involve fetishes and I was really not happy about it. I was kind of wondering what this podcast has even become.
Certain little word, it starts with an F and finishes with H. It has been prevalent throughout a lot of episodes early this year, and then we went to like some heists and thefts and all of this nonsense. Have I really connected to myself like I did before?
Not all of the side stories are complete nonsense, it's just blabber about my own life. Sometimes it's really useful, like I explained to you how to extend the table.
The family, whatever, however many, you have like a normal table. But then there are those extendable ones, and the middle part that you would put, like once you actually extend it for more people to sit at the table. Thanks, Maya, for describing how tables work.
Now, of course, every time I go off tangent, it completely complements the story, and it is extremely appropriate, like this time during the Jeffrey Dahmer episode, where I inserted my personal plot when I left a sex doll overlook the outside of the window at my halls at uni.
I just realized that nobody else is gonna think this is a joke, and you're actually gonna think that I was doing things with a sex doll, but I was not, okay? Believe it or not, I don't care if you believe. So yeah, they got me like this sex doll as a joke. And obviously Maya taking it to the next level. Not that next level. Okay, Jesus, this story is getting worse by a minute.
Or this time when I ran you through the history of toilet paper. Next random fact at the house party, anybody?
The first line says, what goes in must come out. We humans eat a lot and then we poop. And I was like, yes, this is my kind of article. Imagine how much stronger this podcast would have hit the goddamn charts. If, first episode, Robert picked him, I just had the mini about toilet paper. They would immediately know what I'm on about. People will know I'm a no bullshit person. I'm a shit person.
And sometimes it's just really complicated terminology that requires an explanation. Like the terminology of a suck ass.
One of my favorite composite nouns in Spanish is chupaculos, which just means like suck ass. However, what I guess none of you thought about, even if you actually speak Spanish or understand it a bit, is that in English, you either say suck ass or like butt sucker, but it's usually like in singular, the ass is in singular. Whereas in Spanish, they very much rely that a suck ass sucks multiple asses. And I just love the premise of that, because come on, nobody ever stops at just one ass, come on.
And I most definitely, under no circumstances, use this podcast to strike up a grudge with people I have fallen out with since I was in primary school. You will never be able to find those sound archives because it just simply doesn't happen.
I would just look at her like, I never ask, because how do you even ask? Like, why do you even have to ask? You're a psycho bitch. Like, why do I even have to ask? There's nothing to clarify here. There is something wrong with your fucking brain, and you just want to watch, I don't know, is this an experiment for you? And then the two of them will start making out, and I would be like, so, this is all the time I have for you today, so I'm gonna go and meet up with like my other friends. This is exactly what I plan to do in my day.
Well, before this trailer becomes me developing on that grudge, or just this becomes the longest trailer in the history of all trailers, join me. Every Monday I'm here for you. I post the episodes at 1 a.m. and you join me for the good times and the bad times. But in order to turn the bad times into the good times, one motive at a time, cyber see you on Monday, fuckers.